to another Steve's Reviews. We're reviewing some more of my collection today. I'd like to thank everybody for joining me this evening to watch this. And I want to say that this is it's going to be a review of some old VHS tapes that I once rented back in the day when VHS was just starting out. So these are kind of a collector's videos of like the first releases of certain releases of movies. I mean, you might have like a VHS that came out when it first started having a rental company, and then they got re-releases later on that may not look like these. But these are some that I had wanted to get that I remember renting off the shelves back in the day. Just kind of a nostalgic thing. Some of the first releases that I remember. So I'm going to start this off with, let's see, Beastmaster. See the cover? That's the back part. Now this movie holds a good place in my heart because I remember this as a teenager. And I remember renting this movie, and these are like the big box movies. You know, these are not the little thin VHS cases. These are the ones that have the flip open covers, showing the cast of the movie. And then you got your movie in here. It pops out, VHS. You got the little MGMUA like casing inside of it for the movie. Then you got your VHS, of course, just a standard VHS with the copy of the movie. But this is the first release of Beastmaster on VHS that I know of. And you would rent these, and the box would be sitting there, of course, and the video wouldn't be in them when you take them up front, and they would give you the release. But I love these big boxes because it just reminds me of the 80s. It reminds me of the good times of going to the video store, of looking at the covers and see that artwork and stuff like that. It just looks awesome. It made me want to see the movie because I was really into sword and sorcerer type movies back then. And this one really took the cake as far as that goes. It's a very low budget, I understand. I remember the movie kind of a little long now as I'm older, but I love popping this into the old VHS and watching it. Even though I could probably get a DVD copy, maybe a Blu-ray copy of this. I don't know if it's on Blu-ray yet. But I could probably find a better quality one out there. But I just love something about putting a old VHS tape in a VHS machine that reminds me of the old days. The sound of the reels turning, pushing the play button, the eject button, all just brings back great memories for me. And so does this movie here. The Beastmaster was an awesome sword and sorcery flick for a young kid like me. Had just enough violence and swashbuckling type stuff in it, and you know, it was just an awesome movie to watch at that age. Today's standards, probably not for young people, but I really enjoyed it. But I wanted to get the first release of these movies I'm going to show you today. This is the first one, the Beastmaster, that I found online, and I had to have it because it was in the big box. So the Beastmaster was the first. Okay. The second one is the Ice Pirates. The Ice Pirates was a comedy back in the day, and it was about a bunch of pirates. Water had gotten scarce, and they had to like steal water from other places, which, you know, they kept an ice form, and they would pirate the ice. You know, it's a very silly comedy. It probably doesn't hold up to today, but I mean, back then I just remember this movie fondly. And to get it on the first release in the big box set, here's the cover of it. I'll show you the side. Of course, the back. Then you got the inside, the movie in it. Got all the actors, like I said, just like the Beastmaster. But this one is a really, really good find, and in good shape for its years. And I just remember this movie, watching it as a child, teenager, whatever you want to call it, young person, during the time that VHS ruled. And I just had to add it to my big box collection. And like I said, I pop it in there every once in a while just to get a good laugh, just to kind of see how special effects were back in that day, and to show my son how crazy movies were back then. And I just was glad to show you this one, and it's the Ice Pirates. Now this one, I don't know if anybody's heard of it, that this is Mark Hamill's I'm pretty sure it's, no, it probably isn't pre-Star Wars, it's probably after Star Wars, but it's Corvette Summers. Now, I know you can get this on DVD, I don't think Blu-ray. I know the Ice Pirates I got on Blu-ray, but it was like they just make it very low quality, low quantity. I don't have a mass production on the Ice Pirates. But I don't think this one's on Blu-ray, to my knowledge. It's about a kid that works for, they go to school and they're going to have a mechanic shop in the school. And they go find an old car from a junk yard for the kids to rebuild. And Mark Hamill's like a mechanic, a kid taking mechanics in the school. And he finds an old Corvette Stingray, I think it is, getting ready to be demolished in the junkyard, and he stops them from demolishing it, and they take it back to school and they rebuild it. Without giving the whole story away, it gets stolen after they make it look awesome, and he has to go to the city and try to find it later on. But it's got a lot of good stuff in it. If you like Mark Hamill, it's got Annie Potts in it, and from Ghostbusters, and it's that Pretty in Pink. It's a good movie. It definitely shows that it's made in the 80s when you watch it. I love the big box, and I don't think I rented this in the big box at the time, but when I saw that it was in the same big box type style as the Ice Pirates and Beastmaster, I said I'll add that to my collection too. I just got a big fit of doing that. And like I said, it's got the tape the same way with all the stars on it. You got the cover. Then you got the side with the name, of course. Then you got the back artwork. And it's just a great part of my collection. And I'll keep it forever. I'm never going to sell this. I'm going to try to get new releases of all. I like to get all the VHS releases of movies that were made back in that day. The first releases, whether they're in the big box or not, as long as I have the first releases, I'll be very, very happy. But that is Corvette Summers. And this is the Creme de la Creme. This is the movie I really was looking for when I first started doing the box sets, and I was lucky to find it. And it, of course, is A Christmas Story. Me and my son Andrew went a few years back, maybe 4 or 5 years ago, to the actual Cleveland, Ohio house where they filmed this movie. They didn't film the interiors in it, but maybe a couple scenes. But they did all the exterior scenes, and we got to go in the house, take pictures. That's the reason I bought my leg lamp, because it was like the one in the movie. And this was one of the first VHSs I rented. And I remember it was a video store on the square of Barberville, Kentucky, on the Court Square. There was a video store there, and it was just like I think it was like a furniture store, but they had a video store in it too. So they were just like popping up everywhere when everybody started watching VHS and wanting to rent them. And I remember going over there, and I found this on the shelf, and I was blown away. I mean, I remember seeing previews of this movie when I was a kid, and I never did have to go to the movies and watch. We didn't get to go to the movies a lot to watch movies because we were, we didn't have a lot of money. Mom couldn't take us all the time. She's a single parent, and, she couldn't drive us all the way to Corbin, which was a long distance before the 4-lane, because there was only 2 lanes of the road to get there, and it took forever. But we watched this. We went and we wanted to go watch it, but we couldn't. And it became like a flop at the movies, because I guess it came out at a bad time in the 80s, and it had a lot of competition, and not a word of mouth didn't get out about it. But when it came on VHS, when VHS was really, really taken off, I mean, this movie got the cult classic, and it went. Everybody loved it. I think when I saw it was on VHS, and that was before they started showing it every day, like on TNT, on Christmas Eve all the way to Christmas Day. But I rented it and fell in love with it that day, and I remember this box, picking this particular, it may not be this particular box, but this design box up down there at that store and looking at it. And when I was able to buy this for my collection, I jumped at the thing, even though it's a VHS, of course. And there's the front cover, the classic cover. And you got the title on the top, on the side. You got Ralphie on the lap of Santa Claus, and you got the Star Wars. You got the Wizard of Oz people. They were in the department store when they were going to go see Santa. And I showed you the front inside, I think. Got the cast. Awesome, awesome movie. I could do a separate review on this movie and not talk forever on it because I love this movie. But this review here is just basically just showing the classic box sets that I really, really enjoy. But I am so glad I got these in my collection. Whether, I mean, I play them every once in a while on my VHS. I even got an old TV. I put them on the correct aspect ratios and stuff. They're all pan and scan, of course, the old days. The 4.3 TV, But I really am happy that I got this. So that is my collection of the box sets, the big boxes. All the names lined up. And I just wanted to add all these stuff I loved about these movies and continue to love about them. I don't care if anybody likes the Ice Pirates or the Beastmaster. I like it, and that's all that matters for me and my collection. Your collection can be your collection, but this is my collection, and I love them in my collection, and I will cherish them in my collection for years to come. So I'm going to say goodbye to you, and I hope you like this video. If you do, tell your friends, tell them about my channel. We're trying to get some better equipment available. I'm going to get a microphone for later on so that way you can hear me better. But we'd like to thank you, and goodbye.